Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Mainstream Monday here on Horror Film Lovers. And I hope you can't hear the dog behind me, but I have a dog. My sister's dogs are here, so you may hear some panting, and it's not from me. I swear. Um,
I, I
Anywho,
I don't believe you.
yeah. Well, do you hear it?
No.
Okay. Oh, good. So anyway, here is we're gonna be talking about the. Oh, actually, we forgot to mention this. This is the season finale. So woohoo! We're gonna take a little bit of a break. Don't know how long exactly, but we'll take a little bit of a break. Because John and I have things we got to get done, and we're excited to come back and do some more stuff for you guys. But right now we're gonna finish on Butterfly Effect 3 Revelations. So I'm here with my co-host John Ward. How you doing, John?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So yes, so today was the first day I saw Butterfly Effect 3, and I fairly enjoyed it. I don't know, I liked it. I
I like it less.
You like it less?
I think this is my third time watching it, and I liked it because it's once again, as we've discovered with these things, when you watch stuff in order, and especially with so close to watching the previous one,
Mm-hmm.
it for me, a lot of these are either a little better or they're a little worse. And for me, this Butterfly Effect 2, as much as I disliked it, was actually a little better for me. But this was a little worse because I've kind of said, oh, they could make a TV series out of this. And I really enjoyed it. And no, I did, but I don't know. It looks like you're in the bathtub with that
I does look like him.
guy.
Babe, me and him are, about to
Well,
go
yeah, you just
go
got to get the
butterfly
blonde in
effect.
there. Yeah,
I don't mind having Rachel Miner next to me, but I had a
yeah,
huge crush on her ever since I saw the movie Bully. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but whew,
I have, but I
jeez.
don't remember her, unfortunately.
Oh, she was the main girl. But anyway, she was also Macaulay Culkin's ex-wife, So
Really?
yeah, I think he's
Has he
only
been
been
like
married
married like
once.
10
No,
times
he's
or
only been
something?
married once, I believe.
He did
Uh,
that weird video with like I thought that was his wife, maybe it was his girlfriend, but I think she was brunette.
Yeah,
They
if that was newer,
No, it's old. It's like a John and Yoko type video with them, and it was like a weird video. They were very young. I think it was like
yeah, so he's
his
only been married once and it was to her. He is I believe either engaged or in a real like serious relationship with somebody right now. But I don't really know the particulars. I knew more when he was doing his podcast because he was a very like open about his personal life. More than he used to be very, very closed off about his personal life, would not do interviews or would not talk about stuff. And then I guess just one day he was just like, fuck it. Yeah, I don't care anymore, you
You
know?
better say something after you get dumped by Mila Kunis. Oh my God! I mean, how
Yeah.
how hot is she? And you know,
Yeah. She's
I mean,
gorgeous and I don't know what happened there.
well,
Um
it's the traditional Hollywood thing. Is she and him are on this level, and then all of a sudden she gets the Academy Award.
maybe,
Bye,
maybe, I don't know.
bye.
But
Happens all the
uh
time.
I don't know. I don't know why then she went back to Ashton Kutcher, who was in Butterfly Effect 1. Start this whole thing off
Ah,
so we
good
can
circling
connect it all
back.
back. Um, but no, Rachel Miner was really great in this movie. And I've always liked her. I always thought she had a really cool, like, personality about her in each character that she played. And in this, it's got some twists and turns that I was like, whoa, I did not see
I
that coming.
I would like to go straight to the end.
Oh, do you want to talk about the big deal?
The reveal and then what happens afterwards,
Okay.
and then we could circle back around because
Okay.
I really want to know what you think of this. So I will let people know who are watching. Basically, in the picture there that you have behind you,
Mm-hmm.
they're brother and sister,
They
not
are.
brother and stepsister.
Not,
They're
yeah,
not
not
one
best
father and two
friends.
mothers, not best friends. They are blood brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out at the end that she's the killer, that she's the one going around killing all these people. And she apparently wants to fuck her brother.
Right.
And that
Yeah, she
and I
starts like
forget.
making out with him, and he's like, ah,
Yeah, yeah, twice she
twice.
tries to make out with him, and he's like all weirded out by it.
I
Now,
I imagine
granted, if
why.
my sister looked like that,
No, even if my sister looked like that, I'm just no,
maybe
nope,
I don't
sorry.
know.
There's just
That's
something
she's
about
got
that
some
that just
loyalty. That's loyalty. Think about it. Any girl that hits on him, she's gonna just off right there.
right.
She would do anything for him, and
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know.
Well, no,
Maybe
she literally does because
yeah. She
she literally
murders.
takes and murders and takes out all the girls that would have given him a great, a marriage and life and everything like that. So yeah, he decides to go back in time, and this kind of brings back to the first movie as opposed to the second movie. Second movie had like a death thing, but tried to do the
He
whole.
just drives off
I'm
a cliff, and it's
yeah,
boring.
I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm gonna just do it by driving off a cliff and killing myself. And there's no real anything behind that, emotion or anything. This one, he's like, I have to go back to the time that, I could have saved my sister and instead killed my sister. And,
Well, because he says so obviously he's gone back many times,
hmm
and I would like to see a butterfly effect where they meet up. Where the guy who goes back meets up with himself, because at some point you got to pull a Marty McFly, and
right.
there's got to be like Back to the Future 2, where you're watching yourself up on top of the stage performing down here, and then you're also way over here. There's got
Yeah.
to be at some point where they cross, and I mean Doctor Who did it a bunch of times with the different doctors all kind of met each other at different periods,
Yeah, that's
because
kind of cool.
yeah, and I would think at some point, but it's weird that I think that just because he saved her life, the parents died in the fire,
hmm
and that she becomes this obsessed with him. I think that's weird. And of course, she's all like, I forget the name of it, but she's not one of those people who like can't leave the apartment, but I guess she just doesn't.
No, she doesn't want to. But I had a theory behind that too. It's because we find out later she's a jumper as well. Now, I also have a theory on the jumper thing, and I think I told you a little bit about that. Is that I think well, I didn't tell you this. I think this was supposed to be a sequel to Jumper, the movie Jumper, because they mentioned jumping and being a jumper like 10,000 times in the movie, and we've never heard that phrase in any of the Butterfly Effect movies ever, right? This was 2009. This was a year after Jumper came out. I was like, maybe this was originally supposed to be that, because
Like
that's
the
all about
script
teleport.
was Jumper 2,
Yeah,
but they
and
made
then they
it
were just
Butterfly
like, let's just
Effect.
make this for butterfly effect. Because that's how I view it. I looked it up online and can't find anything about that. So that's just my crazy theory.
I mean, it's possible, or it could be coincidence. I mean, if you look at something like Starship Troopers, the aliens are called bugs, and then you watch Aliens, and they're called bugs.
Yeah.
So granted, and I've gone over this before, where nothing that James Cameron has done, as much as I love him, is original. And of course, he took aliens from Starship Troopers, which is I think very obvious. But it's she just becomes oddly obsessed with him,
hmm
wants to spend the rest of her life with him. Apparently, she does want to have sex with him, because, as we pointed out, she tries to make
mm
out with him twice.
Yep.
And now here's where my question comes in. So he starts to, and I don't like this, which is why I like this less. In each film, they seem to get away from the diary or the journal or a picture or film or whatever it is, to where in the second one it was just a photograph.
Right.
In the third one, it was just him going, yes, I need to go to 321 April Street at 4 3:40 a.m., and then he goes.
hmm
And that I don't like. I
Why
don't
don't you
like that
like
at
that?
all. Because it's not the butterfly effect. It's not what was set up by the first film.
Well, I mean,
Why does he just think it? He should be. She should be handing him a newspaper
okay,
that
so
says person was murdered or double
right.
homicide, and then he can go back to there should be, or a photograph, or that picture he was looking at when he was nailing the incredibly hot blonde bartender.
Yeah. No,
um
I thought so too. I was like, wait, is that where is he all of a sudden because he kept looking at it. I thought, uh-oh, is he about to go through or whatever?
I didn't
But
blame her at all. I would have been pissed off too. And she's like, "Are you gay? It's
yeah,
okay. I can introduce you to my gay friend."
I
And
laughed
and I
so
don't
hard at
blame
that.
her. She's incredibly hot,
She's only
and
been in two movies, by the way, or three, but like her other movie was like Retard Dead. And
oh, I've seen that.
yeah,
Okay.
she's in that. And so I'm guessing she also gets naked in that one too. I don't know. Or she just got naked in this because they have more money, probably. I
Yeah,
don't know. I need to see that again. I think we're planning to do that on one of the indie film cafes at some
I
point,
forgot
you know.
about retarded.
Yeah.
So
But it's such a like the problem with it is like these days and age, it's really hard to like do a movie like that because Paul wouldn't mind at all. And I bet Jackie would love watching it. But like there are some people that we would put that title up there and I bet they would freak out. Like, how dare you, put that
hey,
title.
it's the name of the movie,
I
and
know.
it's well, and I understand what you're saying, because I just posted some pictures from a film set that I was on where I'm in the background and it's three Elvis impersonators,
Hmm.
and I did not name them. The director did, and one is Happy Elvis. One is like Grumpy Elvis. I'm forgetting the exact name, and the other one is Asian Elvis. And I was and so we filmed the scene like that. But when I put the pictures up, I'm like, do I really want to put Asian Elvis up there? Am I all of a sudden going to get like a bunch of people blasting me for that? They didn't. Nobody did.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But there's that you have
But I
that
think you
moment.
also surround yourself with people who, and I have mixed people on my friends list too. Like I have people that would be, upset with, that sort of, thing or whatever, either Asian Elvis or using the word retarded as a name for Retard Dead, which is the name of the movie. Like
Right.
we would just be saying the name of the movie. And but people would freak out and stuff.
Retarded. Something like
Yeah, we'd
that.
have to like
That's what
cover
I do on my
retarded.
own. Yeah, yeah, like on
Yeah.
my own videos, I do stuff like that, where it's like, oh, this movie stars Charlie Sheen. And where it's,
You gotta. This one stars Gary Busey. Wait, is
see,
that too soon?
oh, might be a day too soon. Tomorrow would be much
I
better for that
don't
one.
know when this is
But
out. It won't be, so that's
that's true.
fine.
It'll be a few days.
Yeah,
So yeah, it should
it'll
be
be a
okay.
week, so I think it'll be okay.
Okay, so to circle back, so because we still haven't gotten to the very end, and this is where I really want to get your opinion, because her wanting to have sex with her brother was weird enough. Even though I've watched all the Taboo movies, it's still weird
Mm,
to me. And so he comments, "Hey, I was even at your funeral. I went back, saved you," which then led to mom and dad dying in the fire.
right.
She even questions at one point him saying, or her, she says, "Did you set the fire?" Because we never
Hmm.
find out who set the fire.
I don't know who set the fire at all. You're right.
I'm almost wondering if it was him, because he looks up in the hallway as a kid
Hmm.
and the fire alarm is disconnected.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So she becomes this murderer because he saved her. The parents died. He won't talk about it. I hate when they do this shit in movies, because it was like 10 years ago. This is stuff that would have been talked about 10 years ago, not 10 years into the future. But I guess it's what we need to know in the script. But so if the parents get out of the house, which they do, they survive. They
Uh-huh.
say, go back and get your sister. Why wouldn't he save her? Because if the parents are alive and he rescues her and they're a happy family and they just move into a new house, the entire timeline would be different.
Hmm.
So it's almost like he murdered his sister knowing that this could be a different timeline. He could always go back and lock her in. Now that he knows that she murdered all these people, she wouldn't. So it's not like in the first film where by Ashton Kutcher, as a baby strangling himself, everybody's
Well,
life is better. And then the guy in the second film does the lame driving off the mountain, which I guess makes everything better. This one is the sister is the problem, and he murders the sister without knowing what the new timeline would be with the parents alive. And then we see everybody at that party, that barbecue, is now alive who was dead.
yeah. Um, so my take on that was that he was basic basically saving the world by getting rid of somebody who was evil, to begin with, because like he doesn't know that say he just somehow saved her or something or didn't cause the see he never caused the fire to begin with, or he stopped the fire from even happening. That could have that he probably could have done that, you know. Like he could have stopped the whole fire from happening and then, but would that have stopped her from, because they both could be jumpers, right? Or whatever you want to call it. They could both have the effect because they both have the ability, right? Um, which
Which means maybe even the dad or the mom has it, because it would have to be.
it's got to be hereditary if both of them have it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like something like they got zapped by something and they both got zapped. Like he didn't even know she had it, until the end of
No.
the movie. So so that was, yeah, that must have been a big thing right there, big reveal that made him think, you know what, this girl can cause a lot of damage and say,
Well,
I
but
didn't
he
cause
doesn't.
this.
But he doesn't know that.
He
I'm going to use an
doesn't.
extreme. I'm going to use an absolute extreme here. So you go back in time, and you're in the art studio that Hitler is in.
I thought I wasn't. Why did
Okay,
everybody go with Hitler?
everybody goes with Hitler, and the his art teacher is Jewish. That's a fact,
Right,
and gave him like an F on his painting. And they say that was basically the first thing of him not liking Jewish people.
right.
So let's say you could go back in time, talk to the art teacher, and be like, you need to give him an A. Please give him an A.
Hmm.
And the guy believes you, and he gives him an A. And all of a sudden, Hitler goes, you know what? Thank you for this A. I'm now gonna be this great artist. I'm gonna save the world, and everything goes in the opposite direction. My art teacher, who's Jewish, I am now going to put Jewish people on a pedestal, and he goes completely the opposite way. But all of a sudden, somebody else comes back through time and then shoots him in the head, and you're like, what the fuck? He was talking about doing all these great things just in case. Just in case we're going to kill him, which then could lead to somebody else just taking his place and doing all the evil stuff that he did.
I mean, well, Hitler's a little bit more extreme
I'm
because
saying it's extreme.
I know, but it's a little bit more extreme because people sort of knew, but nobody would have taken his. I mean, nobody necessarily would have taken his place because the whole idea and concept is that Hitler was so evil that he created, like,
Well,
this.
it's a yes and no, because they were coming off of World War One, and then Hitler got a lot of his mannerisms from Mussolini. So Italy was also in the war. Japan was in the war, and so you never know. I mean, there's somebody else. If somebody had killed Hitler, could have taken over.
Right,
You don't, But then of course you also have to think about, and this was even on Doctor Who, where if you did kill Hitler, and all these other countries that were not getting along all came together to fight him, would not have come together. So it's one of those things where, you
Damn, I
know,
was gonna say you had a great idea for a Butterfly Effect 4, going back in time and just trying to save the world from all these terrible people who could have that caused all these problems. But now you just said it was a Doctor Who episode, and so people would just be like, "You're stealing from Doctor Who."
well, yeah, it's Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor. He ends up meeting Davros, who creates the Daleks. It's Genesis of the Daleks. It's supposed to be technically, I guess, the first Dalek episode, and he could literally put two wires together that would destroy Davros, who's Hitler, like Hitler with the Daleks.
Oh, okay, but it
And
didn't actually say Hitler, right?
no, yeah, yeah, Davros is like the Hitler of the Daleks. Davros created the Daleks. The Daleks are the Nazis, like while the
Okay.
Cybermen were Russians. And he's holding these two wires, and he goes, "If I put these two wires together, I end the Daleks forever." But all these worlds that are out there and all these different galaxies and universes will never come together to fight them. And it's a huge dilemma. And he chooses not to destroy the Daleks.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
and
sometimes I think that's what these movies teach you, honestly, and stuff, is that we should just let life be life, Nobody like um his big first problem is that he goes back in time and tries to stop the murder or find out who's the murderer of his girlfriend, right? That's all he wants to find out is who the murderer is, so he can put her
well,
behind bars.
before that though, he's doing his job.
Right. No, but I'm saying like that was the start of the whole,
Which we should let
issue.
people know is he's hiding in the bushes. It's a mother with the kid at the playground. She goes up to the car. An assailant comes up in a hoodie, smashes the fuck out of her head,
Yeah.
and which I loved because that kind of brings us back to the first film.
That's what I was
And
thinking.
and then he takes the purse and drives off and leaves the kid there. And that's what this guy does, is that he works with this one police guy to solve these crimes. And I think he said he already solved like 10 of them.
Yeah.
And that's how he makes his money, is by solving these crimes. And that's where my Dalek Butterfly Effect, the TV series, comes in. Is what if you had a group of these people, and each episode they have to go back and stop these people. I thought that that would be very interesting.
Yeah, it would be a great TV
And then
show.
yeah,
That
and
would
then
sort of be
from
like Law and Order, but like Law and Order Psychics, unit, or whatever, or not psychic,
yeah, you have like,
butterfly effect unit.
yeah, maybe one or two people have the power, and then everybody else kind of works around them. And
Yeah.
then, and then they each week they go back, and maybe every once in a while it could be historical
Well,
or something
I mean,
like
once
that.
again, that's a problem. Well, I mean, so the beautiful thing is in the beginning, he's just watching, you know.
Yeah.
He's like a creeper. He's sitting in the bushes, he's staring. I'm surprised he didn't have binoculars. He was just staring, and then he saw the woman get, her head get, bludgeoned and everything. I think
Just
there
caved in.
I really there was one line in the movie where the guy's like, well, the kid came out unharmed. He was like, unharmed? He's lost a mother. He got to see his
I
wife
really like that line. I
because I
like
thought
that
it really,
interaction.
yeah, because it made you think about mental health. Like, I mean, if you saw somebody you love, a mother, father, whatever, and you love that person to death, and then they got bludgeoned to death by somebody, and you saw it happen, that's gonna fucking scar you for life. Maybe make you a different person than
Yeah.
who you were just 5 minutes before,
Well, yeah,
and
because who knows what happened to that kid?
yeah.
That kid could have ended up becoming like a serial killer, kind of following the pattern of how he saw his mom.
Hmm.
Well, and on top of the cop, he then has the guy that like the big overweight guy with the beard that he goes to, who's kind of like his
A
mentor.
guru.
Yeah, almost like Buffy.
Yeah,
Has
he's a watcher.
yeah. So he gives him advice, tells him what to
Hmm.
do, and
He's
all
just
that
not in
stuff.
a library all the time.
Right. It's that he's in like a what is it, like a place that has plants all around it.
Yeah, because he's like, I guess he's a botanist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's
he knows
yeah,
like which he's like, hey, stay away from that plant. That plant will paralyze you and shit.
yeah,
You
which
know.
is a red herring because then you
Yeah,
think,
we didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't think that
what are
way.
we?
Did
Okay.
you? Did you like
When
when
I
you first
first
saw
saw
it?
it,
You were like,
yeah,
oh, well, that's gonna come back. I didn't.
yeah, they
Sometimes
got to
I
be,
just think lines are lines. I don't know. I never think about it like that, but that's good.
yeah,
But I always
and
like that because I'm always surprised. I'm like, oh, right, okay, we talked about that earlier.
so then he gets done doing this thing. He's at home. The sister of his dead girlfriend comes in, has the diary, talks about this affair that the girl that his girlfriend had with the guy who was in prison, who we think killed his girlfriend and is on death row. He's going to be murdered, and that's where we leave that. And now we're up to what you were
Yeah,
talking about.
and she just wanted to see. I guess she just wanted to like see if he could help find out if that guy was the killer or whatever, who was the actual killer, because I think she wanted that guy off death row,
But it would be the
you know.
sister, right? The sister is the one who killed the girlfriend. So she
Oh
must
yeah,
have
yeah,
gone
yeah.
back at some point and killed the sister, and then the other guy, the boyfriend or the guy that was having the affair, got blamed. But then why did he say in prison that our lead character, Sam is his name, Sam?
Sam.
Why did Sam? He goes, "You killed her.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I'm in here. You killed her." So did he at some point?
No,
How
I
would
don't know. That was a weird thing. That was a weird scene because I was like thinking, and he was even looking, he didn't stop him and say, I didn't kill you because he didn't know. You know, like he's like I think there's at one point they talk about how he's done it so many times that they can't keep track of things, you know, because he's going back too much or something, I think. I don't know. It gets
Well, and
very
the sister
confusing a
brings it
little
up
bit.
a couple times. She goes, you went back again. You went back out, back in. So if the sister is a jumper, which she is, and obviously she went back to kill people,
Well, she
did
did.
she alter anything that Sam would not be aware of?
Maybe. Well, a lot of it he's not aware of. So it does the butterfly effect thing, which I hate. Gets annoying, where the person wakes up in the normal timeline and doesn't remember anything, you know, even though apparently I would guess they would get memories like in the first one. You remember, like I had a problem with that with Ashton Kutcher because Ashton Kutcher would wake up and he wouldn't know how he walked apparently different. You know, he was just the same person he was before he did the butterfly effect, you know, stuff or whatever, right? So this guy has the same thing where he comes back and it's him, right? Because there's one point where he wakes up in his apartment and he's renting the couch out. Then the next time he comes back, the guy's like, "Hey, what? You can't sleep here for free." So, and
Oh, no,
he's
no,
like,
no, no,
"Oh,
no, no. It's flipped. Sam has the apartment. The Hispanic guy kicks him on the floor, and there's all that like vomit, that's on the
right,
floor. And the guy and Sam's like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I rent your sofa."
right."
And then the next one is
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that's is when the Hispanic guy goes, "Hey, this is my apartment.
Right. It's flipped, but
Get
like it's
out."
the same story. And but except yeah, but he doesn't even live there, you know, or whatever. And he's like, but it was so weird because
I
like
mean, he
one
does.
point,
He just hasn't paid rent.
yeah, and at one point the guy's like, you know, he's like, "Where are my keys?" And he's like, "You don't drive.
Yeah, yeah. You don't own a car.
You
Yeah,
don't
because he
know."
has no money. Well, and the sister, when Sam calls the sister, she says, "Do you need to borrow money?" So obviously,
Yeah.
Sam's when we first meet Sam, he's doing well, and then in this timeline,
Well,
he's a
because
bum.
he's not investigating the murders in this in the other timelines too, because he screwed up some of the stuff. Like, okay, so one of the big things we can go back, circle back to the first murder, right? Well, not the first murder, not the one on the with the child, but the one with the girlfriend and sister, who both get murdered, right?
That's considered to be number one. Yeah, the other one was just him observing.
Was just observing. But when he
Yeah, so the
actually
first
went,
murder is the ex-girlfriend. Yeah,
yeah, the first murder's the ex-girlfriend. And then
technically.
and that was the first time he did what the guru guy told him not to do. And even his sister said, don't do that. And now his sister said it for, we find out for a different reason, because she doesn't want him to know that, or she doesn't want him to like catch on. She does not want to see her there, like
But
at the
how would she
scene.
know? Because she's creating her own timelines. Every
Right.
time she kills somebody, she's creating a different
I'm guessing she saw
timeline.
him somewhere and he didn't see her. That's the only thing I can think of is like she was hiding somewhere because it was so strange. So she somehow snuck into that girl's car without opening it.
Well, because she would, mm, yeah, unless she was already in the car,
That's what I'm thinking is like
like when she was
because the girl
pulls.
got out of the car, maybe she snuck in, but we never see any like I would what I would have liked is when she was explaining that she did all these things, we got little flashbacks of how she snuck in and did all these
We
certain
didn't get to
scenes.
sneak in. We got the runaway
Yeah, we did
when
get the
she
runaway.
explains. But yeah, but we don't get to
Who
sneak
sneak
in.
in and doing that
She
stuff.
would know that Sam went back because that's when he got pissed and said, I'm going to do this on my own. So she would know that he's going to go back to that exact time. So at that point, only the girlfriend is dead. And then she knows that Sam's going to go back to try to see who killed the girlfriend. And then the sister would know the date and time. So
No,
she
no,
would
no,
go
no, because
back.
if I'm correct, they did that scene. That scene was when he was in the tub with her the first time in the tub. Because we never in the first beginning of the movie, we never see him in the tub. We only see him in the tub the first time when he goes back to see the girlfriend. But we never see him go back again to that particular scene. The first time we see him, he accidentally gets the one girl, the sister killed, which wasn't originally happening. Which I don't know why she would kill the sister. Because was the sister and him supposed to end up dating?
Maybe no, because she needed to keep the guy that Sam's girlfriend was having an affair with in prison.
Right. But what I'm saying is, so he goes into the house, right? He tells the girl, stay back,
Stay in the car. Yeah.
honk if you see anything suspicious or something, right?
Honk, honk if you're horny. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes upstairs and he sees the dead girlfriend, you know.
With the giant
Yeah, with
pussy.
yeah. Uh-oh. Hey, sorry about that, guys. We had a glitch on Monday night, and today is Wednesday, and we have to finish it. Apparently, my internet keeps messing up about 11 o'clock at night. I don't know why, but it does. I mean, maybe we can look into a problem and see if we can fix it, but I don't know. So there you go.
Maybe
Um,
a higher speed of internet. You have
maybe,
Cox. I have Cox.
yeah, it was
Since I
about
got
11.
Cox, it's and I'm in an apartment complex. It works perfect. Ever since I changed when I had CenturyLink, that's when I kept freezing and dropping and all that. But I think I have like the one right below like business. So I have like the highest residential internet that you can get. So I don't know what you have.
Mine just sucks cocks. But
So when they were asking you what price range, you're like, give me the one that sucks.
No, I
Oh yeah,
don't.
that
I
one's
didn't.
that one.
It's not, I'm not the one paying for it, so it's all good. Whatever. I can't complain. I have internet. Some people in the world don't even have internet. You know, this is
And some
sad.
people in the world have never watched the Butterfly Effect 3 either.
There's been a lot of people that hasn't watched the Butterfly Factory. But anyway, you remember where you left off last time, so.
Yeah, I think that now I don't know how long you were frozen because I was talking and you were just kind of like,
Oh, you were like
and
this. So,
okay, fine. Then you were like this.
no, I'm serious. That's literally how you were. And I was like, oh God, you know.
Well, so what I was talking because we were talking about the death of the girlfriend and how she had the cut down her and how that ended up being the sister using the grinder.
Mm.
And I had commented that I know how to use a grinder very well, because I use one at work almost every single day on cutting locks. Now, that's a pretty weak cut for a grinder. I mean, if you they should have made it much deeper. I mean, it's a pretty thin blade, but it's pretty powerful, especially if it's at a full charge. I mean, I'm cutting a disc lock, which is like, was my fingers like that thick, and I could do that in a couple of minutes. So they should have. It's nice to see the grinder cut, but
Mm.
it should have been deeper, bloodier. But I know how to use those very well. So
Just be careful telling people you know how to use grinder.
I've
Yeah,
never been on Grinder.
you know
I
that.
just
Well,
know.
it's all gay. So I mean, if you're not gay, then you
Oh, is
wouldn't.
Grinder gay? I thought it
Yeah,
was just like a
Grinder's a gay
pickup
app.
app.
No, it's a hookup app, but it's hookup for gays.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that. I
yeah,
thought it was just for everybody to hook up on. Okay,
that's
all
why I was
right.
like, just be careful when you say it, because how do I know how to
I
use
think
Grinder?
my Grinder is spelt differently than that Grinder.
I think that
So
one's Grindr, not without the E.
see, mine has the E. I'm
Yeah.
surprised they don't have like a Y in it or something like that to make it look fancy.
No, they have like an apostrophe R, I think. I think that's how they do it. But I'm not sure. I don't know
A
because I don't use it.
Grinder.
I don't use it. So, as
Either
well.
do I. I thought it was just a pickup
I
app.
know. There you go.
So,
I'm glad you didn't know. You're
but
like,
I
why
didn't
are
go
all
on it, I
these guys
guess.
on this page?
Well, I'm considered a bear. So I mean, if I did go on it, a lot of guys might want to might hook up with want to hook up with me. I'd consider that to be a compliment, but I'd have to say, oh no, thank you, and then have to get off
Get
there.
off the
So
app as soon as
yeah,
possible.
yeah, it's like thanks, but no thanks. So but that's where I think I know I left off was that. So what
Yeah.
do you have anything to say with the girlfriend? And
Well,
because
I think what I was trying to talk about with that was that like yeah, he went up to see the girlfriend, and that's when like the other girl must have snuck in there and had already. I guess
the
she had already
sister,
the sister had already killed the girlfriend beforehand, because remember she had killed the girlfriend, then she was already downstairs in the car with the with the other sister, the sister of the girlfriend, and murdered her, right?
magically, as you had
Yeah,
pointed out, like
yeah, I don't
boop
know how
boop.
she
I
got
mean,
into the car without like opening up the door, but unless she was art. My only other thought was that the sister had gotten out. When the sister had gotten out and she was talking to him, she snuck in and then,
but yet
hid.
nobody saw. We see her leaving across the lawn, but yet nobody then saw her coming across the lawn, open up the car door, get inside. It's in hide, beneath the window or the seat. So, I mean, we can only go off of what the filmmakers show us. So yeah, I mean, there's no way of figuring it out unless I don't know. The sister got into her car wherever the car was originally parked and was hiding back there the entire time, and she wasn't coughing, sneezing, farting, making noises or
Oh,
anything until they got to the house. And then she still snuck, she was still hiding back there even when the brother went upstairs,
I don't know.
until we needed her to pop up and kill
Yeah, it does seem very
the
like it very
the
seems very
sister
confusing too,
the sister's
because
friend.
right. So it seems very confusing because the girl, okay, so that would mean that, and that would mean that she does this stuff, like she jumps by herself all the time, right? But
Right.
and she and the other guy had warned the main dude, don't jump by yourself. You don't, you could drown or you could die, whatever, right? So she just does this all the time by herself, right?
I I would think maybe the big guy with the beard, maybe is legit in him saying you have to have somebody there because you could drown. Maybe, and once again, this is the filmmakers are not showing us this, but maybe the sister is saying that. One, she doesn't want him to die because she's obsessed with him, but she also knows what he's doing. So she knows where to go back and kill somebody.
hmm
So it's
Now
kind
the
of a double thing.
guru guy, does he have the same gift and ability or no?
He doesn't say it.
Yeah, and he doesn't. It doesn't seem
I
like he
mean, if
does
he
it. So,
he did, he should be able to get out of the of being chained up and beaten and
I like because the problem is with two people messing with time. Like, doesn't that get confusing with like okay, so like time travel is such a weird idea, right?
you can't think about it.
Because what?
You can't think about it.
Well, I have to because this is just bothers me.
No, I know.
But like you have I mean, you have to shut your brain off and just like, go with it, whatever. But the truth is, if so, Marty McFly, right, in Back to the Future, goes back in time to basically originally it wasn't to it wasn't to see his family or whatever. It was literally to to get away from people trying to kill him.
He was
So he went,
escaping from like the Iranians or something.
Iranians that
Yeah.
wanted their
Flux
plutonium.
capacitor or
No,
whatever it
wanted the
is back.
plutonium back. Um
Plutonium, that was it.
yeah,
Flux
so he goes,
capacitor is what? I think that's like,
that's just the thing that helps
okay.
make it or whatever it will work. Like it was the thing that Doc needed to know like how to create so that he could create the thing. But anyway, that's a whole nother movie and we could discuss that. But my whole point was that he goes back in time, right? And changes some stuff that happens with his parents. But in doing that, he has altered the world basically too, right? Because he's altered 1980 five or whatever year, 1984, whatever year it was that the movie came out, that like that his time period, Michael J. Fox's time
The
period.
the minute he meets his mom,
Yeah,
that basically changes world history
right.
in a matter of speaking. Yeah.
I mean, his mom was almost not going to get with his dad, all those other shows happening. But we don't really see like the butterfly effect on in that society. Like we don't see that in this world now that he has come back, all of a sudden things have changed. He's not living in the
No,
same place.
because that's
He's
this time travel. That's like the Terminator.
right. But it's the same situation though, right? He met his mom, he went back in time. He it should have technically
And his mom was
changed.
pretty hot back then too. I don't know, man.
Leah Thompson, gorgeous
She
girl.
she's hitting on
But
him like full force. I'd be
I
kind of like,
know, but like, I'm sorry. I
ah,
mean, that's just gross. To
I
even
don't
think
know,
about.
man. I don't know.
It was just like, who said it? Was it you who said like if you? Yeah, it was you who said if you had a sister was hitting on you like that. His sister looked like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is you with the? God.
I don't
Uh,
know. If Cindy Crawford was my mom back in the day,
sorry. Anyway, so yeah, so he never like there's no change in that. But like there should be, right? There should be repercussion. Now, he went back in time again in part two and kind of fucked around with the same time period. He was trying to watch out for himself, but not make sure he doesn't run into his other future self, like you know what I mean? Like he didn't want to run into himself again
well,
because that would
that's the
like
genius of part two, and I don't know why some people put down part two. I
I love
love the
part
fact.
two.
I love that Marty McFly is watching Marty McFly.
Right.
And they say if you actually watch closely, now of course this could be a myth, is when Marty is watching himself driving in the DeLorean, Doc gets shot. They say there's a third Marty.
Yeah.
And I've looked, I haven't seen it, so it could be just legend or whatever. But so they're like, how many times this goes back to Terminator and stuff, or even Groundhog Day or whatever. How many times does this happen? How many times does he go back? And so does he go back like 5 times? Does he go back 10 times?
Mm,
How many times does this keep reoccurring?
that's what
And
I'm trying to say with this movie is now they have two people doing it. It would be like if there was Marty McFly and Doc both going back in time to separate times, like like an hour ahead of each other or something, and then they run, like it. It will get
well,
very
that's
fucking confusing because you're,
yes.
you're changing this time and you're changing this time, and you're both. I mean, now are you like how the world will like like it almost feels like it should be a double, a you know like it
Well, that's
should.
why I think it would make a good TV show. Like, Jumper, you'd brought up Jumper, and they call it jumping, is you have the good jumper and the bad jumper. So you have the sister who then, is the bad jumper, and you have the good jumper who's the brother who then has to stop her. And so they keep jumping and altering time. So, sometimes he's in the hospital, sometimes he's arrested, sometimes he's, because she's
Hmm.
always ahead of him. But in this case, I guess she would be behind. That's why I was questioning before, is she altering his universe?
Right.
Because if she's watching him and he goes back, she's seeing what he's doing and she's like, damn it, now I got to go kill somebody. So then she has to go back, kill that person, which then would change time. And then he's like, wait, why is this person alive or dead? Well, I don't understand what's going on. And I
Hmm.
guess she's altering that time.
Right. Well, we didn't even talk about the one incident too, because I don't remember us talking about the one guy that was basically doing a fantasy rape scene
I've
with
never
his.
understood that with women. I've talked to women about that, and I've never understood it.
Yep.
The,
But that girl was really turned
yeah,
on, and the dude was not, and didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, and he's sitting there
no,
in
because
the
normal guys aren't. They're only doing
no,
it for the woman.
no, no. So she's in the or he's in the closet, waiting to I guess to catch the guy, right? And this time he just wants to watch, which is kind of creepy when you think about that.
I
He
want
was
to watch.
basically,
Yeah,
yeah. And then he's there to watch because he doesn't want to get caught, right? And then like of course the guy ends up going into the closet and seeing him and going, "What the hell?" And that sort of alters the thing where the girl doesn't die, I guess, right? You know.
it's a yes and no, or a yes and yes type of thing. It's because he gets hit in the head, our main guy, that forces him back into the tub, and then he sees the woman on the street, and
And
he's
she's
like, wait,
alive.
why is she alive? And she's carrying those groceries, and she's like, I have a restraining order against you.
Hmm.
So is this the same timeline as when he was in the closet, or is this a different one where he keeps stalking her, and then she has to go get, because she knows who he is, she would have to know his name
Do
to get
you
the
have,
restraining order.
so did you buy the Blu-ray of this or something, did you say? Do you know if it had commentary on it or anything?
There's nothing on this one.
Oh
There no
God.
the I got Butterfly Effect 2 has all the stuff from the DVD, so it has audio commentary and all that. I just got that in. But Butterfly Effect, I think it's like scene selection, trailer. there's like nothing.
Special features are the scene
Special
selection.
features, subtitles.
Yeah, that's not a special feature.
It's not. You and
No,
I
that
definitely agree on
should
that there.
that should be there, period. But
Back in the day, I get them doing that. Like, shit, what are we going to put on here for as a special feature? Okay, well, let's put all that on. These days, it's not a special feature. Don't include that in with audio commentary.
nope.
It's not the same thing. I'm sorry. Everything has scene selection unless it's some
Well,
indie movie, that just doesn't have it.
I'm getting more mad that there isn't enough whatchamacallit, audio commentary or behind the scenes, and I'm like, this is just easy shit that people could do, but people, especially independent independent productions and everything, they're just lazy. They don't want to do it. There are certain directors that I think I would love to hear what they have to say on certain things, but then
So you got it right here. So its special features are Miss Horror Fest web episodes. It's like an
okay.
hour. I didn't watch it. But I mean, Miss Horror Fest, I don't think is. I mean, it's part of Horror Fest,
Right,
but
it's
it's
not part
not
of
part of.
Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, and then it has widescreen presentation.
Wait, that's a special feature?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Jesus.
English, Dolby, digital audio, and English and Spanish subtitles. So it's After Dark Films, Lionsgate. Yeah, and there's just nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fair amount of these type of movies.
Right. No, there's like I think it's 12, something like that. Yeah, maybe more.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, 8 films to die
oh,
for, I
eight
guess,
films. That's
on
right.
each one. So there's 3 of these, so there's 8 films in each one.
Oh, okay.
But this has nothing to do with, because Butterfly Effect, that's a New Line.
Hmm.
So 1 and 2 have a bunch of special features because
Well, New Line's really
apparently,
good with special features, generally
yeah,
speaking.
New Line loves fans,
Yeah.
and I guess Lionsgate doesn't.
Lionsgate, dude, I'm sorry, man. I see so many movies. Lionsgate, their DVDs are like $15 or something, and I'm like, or maybe 12, but 12, they're more than the $10 independent discs, and stuff. And oh my goodness, they're more boutique than, whatever. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like I want, DVDs should be because we have Blu-ray and we have 4K, they should be $10 or less for DVDs, generally
Well, like
less, pretty soon
I
less.
I just recently bought scanners, so that's Criterion.
Mhm.
And Criterion are not cheap, so I only buy them when they go on sale. I buy them.
Yeah, at the Barnes and
You,
Noble sale,
yeah,
kind of
you
thing.
normally alert me to that, and I'll
Yeah,
buy 1 or 2.
and it'll be back in
So,
November.
I mean, look at this. That's all special effects
Yeah,
or
special
special
features. Yeah,
features. I'm sorry, Butterfly Effect can't have audio commentary or behind the scenes. You can't
I
do
mean it
1 or 2 of those
can. I'm
things. I
sure
mean, look at
that
that.
Lionsgate just didn't want to do it, I guess, or whatever. Or wait, did you say that uh pack had two other movies on it?
Not Butterfly.
No, no, so no for Butterfly Effect 3.
No,
It was
no.
just
There's
that
just
one.
it's
Then
just the
I
one
don't
movie.
understand it.
Yeah.
No, because if it has more movies, I can understand maybe because saving space on a
Look at this.
thing.
I just got this Dollar Tree.
Hmm. It's
Boondoggle
got,
Stinks
yeah, that's
2.
got definitely, it's got great commentary.
Okay, so this is from a director who's been completely blacklisted from Hollywood. He's only made 2 feature films, 1 and 2. He wrote like a beach movie, and then he's on that documentary Overnight.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have you seen
And
Overnight?
this
It's a
thing,
great documentary.
oh, Overnight I have, yeah, but I've never watched 1 and 2 of this. But look, even this from a guy who's been completely blacklisted from Hollywood, you
Hmm.
get deleted scenes, filmmaker and cast commentaries, behind the scenes featurette, Billy Connolly and Troy Duffy unedited.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Troy
This guy's,
Duffy is the director too. So there was like
yeah,
they promoted the director, even though that time he was blacklisted at that time period. Like Boondock
yeah,
Saints 2 was surprisingly, I was surprised it got made, but it got made because the fans demanded it,
yeah. So,
and stuff.
yeah, so come on,
But that's
Lionsgate.
also Miramax, and Miramax loves special features as well. I think your Dimension,
They do.
so unfortunately they don't well, Dimension does not exist anymore and will
And
not.
audio commentary is so simple. Even if you want to just do it with
Was
one.
that Dimension? It might not have been Dimension. I don't know what company that was, but that put it out.
Wait, for
Um,
for which one?
for Boondock Saints 2.
Sony.
Sony. Okay, never mind. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
Dimension.
I'm gonna guess he's never gonna work with. Well, I guess he would never work with Harvey Weinstein now,
Nobody would
but
want to work with Harvey Weinstein now.
which is why I think they should give Troy Duffy a second chance. I mean, it's just the guy might have learned his lesson by now, and with Harvey Weinstein, and with all the stuff that happened with him, I don't give the guy another chance. Let him make part 3. Let
I
him
don't know
do
if
that
they're,
at least. Give it a
yeah,
trilogy.
give it a
I
trilogy.
mean,
That'd be fun.
Walking Dead is over or just about to end, so you got one of your stars right there. So,
Yeah.
but it's yeah. So I mean, come on, guys, on Butterfly Effect.
But
I
Norman
mean,
Reedus is too big. I mean, they're thinking of him for Marvel. So I don't even know if he'll come back for anything that's not like that big.
yeah, maybe, yeah,
But anyway,
yeah. I mean, it's
that's
just audio commentary is so simple. I've now done it, a couple times, and all you got to do is sit down and watch the movie. So even if you had the director just sit down and watch Butterfly Effect 3,
well nowadays
it's
with like even
you know
Zoom, you can make a audio commentary track. Just have the guys talking to a microphone and record it, and it's very simple.
oh yeah, yeah, especially if you could just have it playing on your screen.
But that
Yeah.
was, whatever. Anyway, let's move back on to Butterfly Effect 3, which I I mean, so we got those scenes. There's just a few scenes in the movie that I mean, like I don't know. I somewhat enjoyed it. Like you said, like you didn't enjoy it as much this time, or enjoyed it less or whatever, then, and I guess maybe next time you might enjoy it more. It just I guess depends on your
No,
viewing.
I think from and I mentioned this in our last recording is that I think with watching them back to back, even if it's like Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, then recording on Monday, I either will like the film more or I will like it less.
Hmm.
And like Scream 3, I
Hmm.
liked more when we watched it, where I
Yeah.
didn't like it as much.
Remember, I did
Um,
too, I think. And that might
yes,
also be.
because you really are, with these is the butterfly effect stuff did take me a little. I didn't do like what I did with Final Destination, where I just did a back to back day because I was just so into it. They were so fun to watch. These felt a little more like work.
But
So
I don't think I'm gonna enjoy part two again. Like ever. Like I think I really got angry at the fact that they kind of do the butterfly effect thing, but it just didn't feel like it mattered, you know. This felt a little bit more like it mattered because people were dying and things were, like, they had to stop this. Like you said, it felt like it could have been a TV show, which could have been cool, like a person, like I would be down with that if they were ever to do it as a TV show where, or a show like this where the people go back in time and,
yeah, I mean, you do it like CSI or any of those other shows where you got your villain and you got your team of good guys, and
right.
they have to kind of go back and back to see what happened, and every once in a while they like on, I guess it was Profiler, like Tracy Lords would show up every once in a while because she was like the main villain, and you do that type of thing, where every once in a while the bad jumper would come in like twice a season or three times a season. I guess it depends on how many episodes you do. If it was normal television, it would be like 23, 24. But these days, if they did it, I guess it would be like 8 episodes, 10 episodes.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was told, like that, especially for streaming, these days, 10 episodes. And it's interesting because, like, I guess generally speaking, you want to do it as, like, say 10 to 13 episodes because uh when even if it's a network gig, generally speaking, this wouldn't be something they would just start you off on. They would test it out to see if this is something that people would want to watch 22 episodes on, you know, or whatever. And then so they would do like 13 episodes for the first season, then the next season do it as 22 episodes if it actually, in the fall or whatever. But they would do it as like a winter replacement or something. And I mean, like I said, that could be an interesting idea. So I hope, like, they do something like that where it's just like, a show where, and because TV shows are replaced, cancel like networks cancel shows all the time, so there's always got to have backups. So they always have these shows that take over or whatever. And that would be an interesting show. I would love to see that. I love Law and Order and, Special Victims Unit. So if they could do something like that, where it's a couple detectives who can time travel, are partners are trying to find, and other people who do this, who can time travel and stuff and change things. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work necessarily or not. You know.
I mean, I think it could. I mean, I think that it could. I mean, you do it like 24, but you just don't make 24 episodes. You have, the Jack Bauer character is the guy who goes back in time, or woman who goes back in time, and they they keep trying to figure out who did the murder, almost like a Minority Report, but instead of looking into the future, they're looking into the past.
Yeah.
So, because I think this film sets up interesting ideas.
Did they do a
I
Minority Report TV show?
They did, and I liked it. I started to watch it, and then they canceled it after like
Oh.
5 or 6 episodes.
How many did they film? Only 6 episodes, or did they?
That I don't know. It was Megan Good was the main character, and
Oh, I like her.
yeah, I think she's really hot. And so they even had one of the actors from the movie in it. It was the God, what's his name? The guy that looked over the three people that could look into the future, the clairvoyants. And I enjoyed it, but it was one of those films where like it started off on a Monday night, then it went to like a Wednesday night, then it went to a Friday night at 10 o'clock, and it got so confusing, and then they just canceled it.
Yeah, so it's done 10 episodes. So I'm guessing you only saw like five or whatever
I
of
only saw
the.
a few of them, yeah, because
So
I
I'm
I just got
hoping that
so
they put it all
confused.
on DVD. They have them on Prime. You could buy it for $20, but on Prime, which not a bad deal for 10 episodes.
I
But
didn't think it was bad. There's a few of these that are based off of movies that weren't bad. Limitless,
hmm
and there's a few others. But which either connect to the movie or don't.
hmm
But I think a TV show with Butterfly Effect is if you kind of combined all three movies into one show, and then maybe bring on like Ashton Kutcher as a producer, or maybe even have him do a guest appearance.
Yeah.
In like one
I mean,
episode
what
that he
else is he
shows
doing?
up. Well, he's doing some pretty cool things with Mila Kunis. So,
I mean, well, other than doing her, I mean,
oh, I didn't want to be that direct with it. I was trying to be a little more sleazy and subtle. But
Wait, how's that sleazy if you're not going for it?
well, doing
Oh, okay.
kind of under my breath type of thing. But yeah, I think that this film had some good ideas. I like the violence in it. I like that it was shot darker, where the other one,
hmm
part two, was shot brighter. But I
Part two
don't
was
like the.
brighter and more like less, I mean, more lighter period,
It was
This was
TV. It was very television like. It was very kind of WB or the OC or something like
true.
that.
Maybe that's what they were hoping for, like it to like attract that kind of audience that would be into that. And then they were like, "Oh no. Well, this is going to be for the After Dark Horror Fest Part 3. We got to make sure this is dark and horror-like
Yeah, we
and
got to get some heads caving in and stuff like that, and we got to get some incest in there,
I mean,
too.
I would buy this movie at some point or another. But like it's not it's like if I see it at a dollar thing, for $1 or something, I might pick it up and stuff and be like, it's Butterfly Effect 3. But I have no real interest in like I don't know, like watching it over and over again or something.
No, no,
Um,
this would probably be my third viewing of it. I think, and I just thought of this. I wonder if they couldn't do any of that stuff because this isn't New Line. Like they couldn't do like for some like maybe that there was some sort of deal that was made with Lionsgate and New Line that said, okay, well you can't do like the photo journal thing. You can't mention
well, he
the
sort of,
other
I mean,
two
he at least
movies.
sees that one photo and it looks like he's about to go or whatever, but he doesn't
I
because
didn't get that. I just got that his dick went limp. When he's having sex with the bartender, that he sees the photo of the
I thought I
girlfriend, and he
saw it
and,
kind of shake a little
and he
bit, but maybe
goes
I was wrong.
and he goes limp. I mean, that would have been interesting if he was having sex with a woman, and then he does the whole butterfly effect thing. I mean,
Dude, like there you go. That's a great idea for a show, like for a part of a show is like the girl's on top of him and then all of a sudden he looks down and and then he's like, fuck, damn it. Why'd that picture have to be right there?
yeah, damn it. I yeah. So I just got that he just got turned off. He saw the picture of the girlfriend, and he got turned off, and then she got pissed off, which I don't blame her for. So
No, and then ask him if he was gay so she could set
yeah.
him up. And then she gets
Well,
murdered. She got
yeah.
murdered and it didn't were they gonna ever date? Because she was already with somebody else at some point. So like
Well, in an
why
alternate timeline, she got married. Yeah, she had the
right.
ring on.
So why and that was the alternate timeline that she got murdered in. So is it like she was going to get divorced someday and marry him or something? Because like remember, she only went after girls who like he ended up dating. I know he ended up hooking up with her one time, but
Right.
like I don't know if they were ever going to date, you know?
Well, yeah, because it's not like he goes back in time to redo that, so he's not kind of a dick.
Hmm.
He's not like, God, I gotta fix that. That sucks for her. Let me go back and fix this. He doesn't do any of that. Instead, yeah, she just dies in an alternate timeline where she's married.
Yeah, or
So
about to be married or something. I don't know if it was engaged or married, but
yeah, because she
so
goes, I need to go home. No, I'm gonna go home to my man. And then
yeah,
which means to me, and she doesn't sleep with him, so she's not cheating. So yeah, why would the sister kill her?
I don't know. And like, unless the sister saw in a future thing that they ended up getting together. I know she also didn't like her, you know, and I'm guessing that the sister in one of the timelines saw her brother go up to that girl's house, and fuck her and everything. It once again, what it needed was a scene where we saw the sister everywhere, right? So if remember she's telling, that girl, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you just saw a quick shot of her watching the girl having sex with her brother, which would be as fucking weird as shit to me.
But
But
not to her.
Right, but it's still weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any of my family members like having sex with other people. I don't want to see that shit. Not interested. Um, but if she saw that and then, and we saw a quick clip of that and then a quick clip of another girl and him, and she's just watching these different people, you know, then I would have I would have understood it more, but we never get anything like
But then
that.
that kind of ruins the twist. I mean, then
No,
we
no, no,
know
I'm
that
saying
he's
at the twist, during the twist, when she's explaining herself at the end,
well, we
right?
get the shot of her running from the car. I guess they figured that was good enough.
Yeah, but
You,
I think
you
I
know,
would have
be,
rather seen like clips of her showing every time she says, oh, because she said at the end, she said, oh, that girl that, like, because he asked her, why'd you kill that girl? He was like, oh, because she was a little slut, blah, 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 blah,
well, yeah,
you
she
know?
might have slept with guys in the bar,
Yeah.
but so what if the girlfriend just went back and cock blocked it? What if she goes, okay, I know my brother sleeps with her. Let me just go back to the bar and go, hey, bro, want to come back to my place to play Monopoly or something, or striptease poker or whatever she wants because she's obsessed with him. But I mean, instead of killing everybody, why not just cock block it?
Yeah, because I mean,
I
they're
guess
the
maybe you
same
could have slept
age
with
and
her
shit,
later.
so that they are, so she can just. But see, that's her future self, right? That's her other self, right? It's not the self that she is at that particular time, right? Because she's just
But
fucking with the timeline.
no, because I'm guessing that the brother, unlike in the first film or whatever, where he keeps changing. He's,
Hmm.
all of a sudden he's dressing like a frat boy preppy type of thing. The brother, it seems like in this, is always the same guy, but in different circumstances.
Right.
So there's no difference between him renting the apartment to the guy who's sleeping on the sofa to him being the guy who's sleeping on the sofa. Like he's always the same
Yeah.
guy, but in a different circumstance, which means the sister would have to be the same thing. So the sister who stays in the apartment and doesn't go out much is the same person who's the sister that leaves the apartment to go to work on Monday and is the same person who's killing everybody.
Yeah, because it got weird. She was what is it called? She has like agoraphobia or whatever, where she doesn't want to leave the
Yeah, I,
house.
I brought that up, and then she goes,
Yeah.
"No, I did go see my therapist or something like
Right. So
that."
she'll
But
leave to go do that. But then at one point, she's like, I'm going to work, silly. Maybe you can get some, job at the
yeah,
whatever. Remember?
here's the newspaper.
Yeah, here's the
Yeah,
newspaper. So, like, you know, was she always able to leave? Because if she was doing that, like murdering all these, see that was like a red herring then, because her not being able to leave and everything made you as the person say, well, she can't be doing all of this, right? Which it
Right.
never even crossed my mind that she was. Like, I didn't know she was the villain. I didn't put two
No,
and two
no.
together because I just didn't think about it. I'm not one of those people that sits around going, okay, the killer is Billy Loomis and he's with Stu, and that's why they're doing this. There's got to be two people doing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not ever thinking like that. I'm just watching it, observing it, whatever, and then whenever the mask is revealed at the end, you know, as she says, the Scooby-Doo scene, which I liked. I liked the,
I see. I don't like that. Well,
you
I
didn't think
don't
that was,
like her bringing up Scooby Doo. I
why?
don't. It's just too used so many times
It's so
in
funny
films.
though.
It just I don't think it is. To me, the first couple times it's funny, and then when it's used like 10 times, 20 times, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we get it. It's you're comparing this to Scooby Doo because this doesn't seem like Scream. Scream would bring up Scooby Doo.
No.
This wouldn't. That it's too it's too like commercial of a comment. It's too yeah.
Did you
It's
like that the sister was the murderer?
yeah. In a way, I did. It didn't really make much sense, but I liked it because I thought it matched the first film
Hmm.
with it being kind of
And he
weird
had to
and demented.
sacrifice, he had to sacrifice her, basically kill her, which
But
makes
but
me,
he didn't. I brought this up last time. I don't know if that would have fixed anything because if he's he because remember that the parents. So there's one timeline where she dies in the fire and they're at the funeral. So that's him
Mhm.
and the parents. Then he goes back, saves her from the fire, but the parents die. So then there's obviously, I guess, the parents' funeral. So then he goes back again. The parents make it out with no problem at all.
Mhm.
And he leaves her in the bedroom and lets her burn to death, which we've discussed many times is the worst way to die. And he comes out of the house and the dad's like, well, where's your sister? And the brother's, I don't know. Would she have been the same person?
Mhm.
Because if the whole family made it out, she would
She's
probably be a
dead.
different person.
She's dead.
No,
She's
if
dead
the
in the fire. The fire killed her,
no, you're not understanding. So in the first one, she dies in the fire.
right?
He goes back and saves her, which then kills the parents. He goes back a third time. The parents make it out with no problem at all.
Right.
And then she's wants out of the room, and he's like, she's evil. I need to keep her in the room to
And
burn to death to die.
right.
But if he had saved her, so the entire family is now alive, she probably wouldn't have been the same person.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that she would have been maybe. Well, no, because he's.
So that's where I brought in the Hitler
But
allegory
no, but
last
he
time.
saved her before, right? He saved her before, and that's when she becomes the psycho.
That's where she
And
falls in
that's where
love
she
with
falls
him,
in love
and
with him and everything.
yeah.
So maybe it would have happened the same way as she would have fell in love with him again. That's why he didn't
But
want to
how would
save
he
her.
know that?
Well,
Would you
he doesn't,
just
but the chance is like that he doesn't know that, right? He doesn't know it, and you're right that maybe she could have saved, she could be a better person, maybe she could have been whatever, but he didn't want to take the chance. He wanted to make sure that no matter what, she's dead. Now,
so he's a murderer?
he is a murderer. Uh, but in his mind, he's a hero because he's saving all these other innocent people from being murdered by her. You know, even if she might not have been the murderer, she might not have been, but she might,
And then
and
we
there's
had
like,
discussed last time that maybe this is hereditary. So the mom or dad might have had it.
well, remember at the end, there's that like the girl was named after after the dead sister
Yeah, and she throws the doll onto the
into the
barbecue pit,
barbecue.
which F you, little girl. Go fuck yourself. You put that friggin' plastic doll right next to some really great looking hot dogs, which means those hot dogs on that barbecue are now ruined because they smell like burnt plastic. You couldn't have moved that over just a little bit. F you for ruining a good set of hot dogs. F you.
Well, you know what? She looked like she's going to be a future villain, so,
Well, and why is she a future villain?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Did is that the sister who went back all the way into the girlfriend's womb and is now her, and now that she's born and she's got the
I
same name?
it does it's stupid. It was stupid. It was a
It's
stupid little like connection of like now because they named her that she's the murderer or something. I don't know.
and I
But
certainly wouldn't name her that. If I knew and nobody else knew that my sister was a murderer, I wouldn't name my kid after
I think
that.
she did that. I think he did that supposedly because he felt bad that he did let her die, or whatever. So he was like, I'm just gonna name my daughter after her for whatever. But anyway, uh,
Well, and then the big guy with the beard, the guru guy, he makes a comment at the party where he goes, where he says hi to the guy, and then he goes, "I bet you have a couple good stories to tell."
yeah,
So
yeah,
does he know that this is an alternate universe?
maybe. But the other thing I'm thinking of is, okay, so he was jumping when she was like she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? Like when she was, when they were together, like, don't, don't go, don't, right? Because he was on the ground and he was doing it himself without a tub, without water or whatever, ice or
I guess
whatever.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
with
because he
his
would get too
mind.
hot.
So I'm wondering why didn't she do that too? Why didn't if they could just do it like without the tub and ice, why can't she just, go back while he's going back, her start going back and
Well,
going,
because she doesn't know where he's going back. Remember, she's going like, "What are you doing? Where are you going? Are
right.
you jumping?" She has no idea.
Yeah, so but why wouldn't she go back in time to when, the that stuff was happening and save her own life, you know?
Well, yeah, yeah, she could jump back and then be like, "Okay, the house is going to burn down. I need to make sure my window's open
Right.
so I can jump out of it." Because she mentioned, I'm going to bring up two things that we brought up last time, is the guy who's in prison blamed our main guy Sam for the death of the girlfriend,
Mm,
which is never answered.
yeah.
Then we also have the sister who asked Sam, "Did he set the fire?" And in that end scene where he does leave her in the room, the camera does pan up, and the fire alarm is disabled.
Yep.
It's just hanging. So I'm guessing he did start the fire. So maybe
Maybe
he did mean to kill her, and that's why he said, "Well, I was at your funeral," and maybe something was wrong. So then he went back again
to
and let
save
the
her.
parents die and saved her, which then became even worse.
I don't know. There's too many unanswered questions in this movie, and but it's like weirdly enough, even with that stuff, I just don't, I don't hate on it or nothing. I actually liked it a lot better than two. So, you know,
It is better than two. I just wish that they would have been more butterfly e with it,
yeah,
effect e.
and once again, it felt like Jumper or whatever, not and less like Butterfly Effect. Um, well, I think that about covers it. I mean, I think there's really not much else to discuss with the film itself or whatever. So do you want to just jump right in with the ratings or?
Sure.
So we do the a 5-star scale, or whatever. And I give it 3 stars. It's not terrible. I would recommend people checking it out. A lot of people didn't even know there was a Butterfly Effect 3.
Yeah.
I had posted about it and people were like messaging me going, or like were commenting like there's a third one, and I was like, yep. So uh like just like Cruel Intentions. Well, actually I like this movie better than Cruel Intentions 3. Cruel Intentions 3 was just nasty of a movie. Not didn't have the same heart that the first two had. Um, this was this one had the heart of the first one, but didn't have like the soul of the first one.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. Like it had it knew sort of, that I needed to kind of come back to the first, but it sort of it just it didn't work, or whatever. So what did you what's your rating?
Well, I think so. Since we're on the third one, so the first butterfly effect, what did you give it?
I give it like 4 stars or 4.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think I did like between like a four and a four and a half. And then the second one, what did we do? I think I gave it
I
like a
think I gave it
two,
2.5. Yeah, I
and
gave
I
it like
think I,
two and a half.
yeah, I think I did too. So I'm gonna give this 3.5.
So you had 3.5. That's a pretty good score. You know,
Yeah, there's just
I
way too many unanswered questions. I think Butterfly Effect, the first one, is confusing in its own way, and it's interesting to talk about. Butterfly Effect 2 is way too easy. It's too simple. Like there's really nothing to talk about.
no.
This one, you could talk about it, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Hmm.
There's too many plot holes. There's
Right.
too many, which will never be answered.
Yeah. And you're not going to get most likely get a Butterfly Effect 4, though. I think they are looking at remaking this, so I don't know if they'll just reboot it and whatnot. I don't even know what they'll do with that, but I kind of don't want them to reboot it just because. I mean, if they reboot it, are they going to give the same story as the first? Which the first doesn't need the same story again, or are they, like I like part two and three for the fact that it wasn't Ashton Kutcher
Right.
again, and it wasn't his character again. We didn't see any of that stuff again. Like it was completely new people. Like it's like each one I feel like should definitely have new people, new characters that get have to deal with this situation. Um, and also I liked part one a lot because it had the one scene where he's just reading the journal, right? And he's just like all of a sudden it just happens. He didn't know what he did. Like he's never been able to do that before, you know? And so I'm like, I'm wondering, is it an age thing? Does it kick in at a certain age? Or was he always able to do that and he didn't know? You know?
I'd say that he probably just doesn't know,
Yeah.
that because I don't think you could be reading a book of The Hobbit
That would be cool,
and
wouldn't
then
it?
go into the world of Middle Earth or something. I
Well,
mean,
I mean, I guess it's the real world. It's his world. It's what's going on in his life. But but when he was a kid, he read his own journal, I'm sure, and he never, this never happened. So I'm wondering if this was a thing that happens at a certain age, is he was able to get this gift and this ability.
well, the mother does mention something about the dad. I remember that. I don't remember exactly when, but she does mention like he had a job and then he started getting these visions or something. So at a certain time, they I guess they did start kicking in for the dad.
Right.
So, but does that mean that if you had a journal and I read it, could I go back to a date and time in your journal?
Another TV show idea, right? Like somebody who has the ability to just, read a history book and go into history.
Well, that's
Mm.
why you kind of combine all
But that's like,
three.
wasn't that like the Page Master? Wasn't that the Macaulay Culkin
I have no
movie
idea.
where he
Never saw it.
read wherever he read or Never Ending Story? I guess that's more about imagination and everything. It's not like they're really there. They're just reading it and they're just trapped in this world of like the story or whatever. But anyway, I don't know. History
I
book.
never saw it because Never Ending Story is false advertising because it did end.
Well, just because they didn't make a fourth one or whatever.
Well, the first one ended,
Well, I
and
mean,
the
the book
second one
has
ended,
to
and the third.
somewhat end.
But
I
it's called the
mean,
Never Ending Story, so it should have just
because each
continued.
movie was supposed to continue.
I am not buying there.
So you're not gonna watch a movie just because it's false advertising like that.
No,
Like,
I'm joking. I've seen Never Ending Story, but I haven't seen the other ones.
okay.
So that's
No,
that's.
I've only seen the first, and I have no real interest
I
in
reject
sequels.
your hypothesis on the Never Ending Story. So
What?
it's the title is
Re
that it's
Referring to
wrong.
the sequels of the movies or what? I
Yeah.
don't.
because it's
Maybe they were thinking it was going to be a series of like never-ending stories that were going to just continue to go and
as
whatever.
each one got worse.
Yeah, then they're like, oh
That
shit.
third one looks
Oops.
awful.
Oops. I forgot there was a third one. For a second there, I just thought there was two. Then I was like, oh shit, there is a third one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't care. I like Noah Hathaway who played Atreyu. That's it. You
he
know.
was
And I
just in
think
the film that I was in. He was just in the Tom Devlin film.
nice. Well,
Yeah,
he's a good dude. I've
I
met him
did not get
once.
to
He's a
meet
good
him. He
guy.
was there during the day, and I came in at night, so I didn't get to meet him.
He was at a horror convention called Blood of the Beach, and so I didn't get. I did meet him, I believe, and I met him, and I met Jonathan Tiersten from the Sleepaway Camp. Things
Ah,
and some, it's awesome to see these people who have gone on and done. I mean, honestly, Noah Hathaway seems like a really good guy. And I like Atreyu, and I liked him in the first movie. I just never watched the second or third because I just I don't know, just didn't have any interest, like. And when I was a kid, I never liked the never. I thought the Never Ending Stories was going to be somebody reading a book, so I had no interest, you know. And so.
so that would be the Princess Bride.
And that is why Evil Dead is not called Book of the Dead. That was the original title of the movie, Book of the Dead. And a
Yes,
guy
it is.
said, and was it the salesperson that was supposed to help them and everything said, you need to change that title because Book of the Dead makes people think they're going to have to read for 90 minutes. And he said, what do you want to call them? So he gave him a list of them, and one of them was called Evil Dead Men and Evil Dead Women. And he said, how about the Evil Dead? And there you go.
There you go.
Here's your little history on the Evil Dead.
Kind of
It
like
has
butterfly
nothing.
effect. Somebody said, you know what, your guy's doing the butterfly effect. Here's a list of titles. Hey, I'll go with the butterfly effect.
Maybe that's I don't know. Maybe.
There you go.
Well, they probably would think it was that the other term for the butterfly effect. Remember, there's a which it really is where you go back in time, but
Well, the butterfly effect falls into the chaos theory.
chaos theory.
Yeah.
But that would be a badass title for the fourth one because this one's called like Revelations, which I don't know why it's called that, but I guess it just sounds cool. You know.
Every series has to have a film called Revelations. I don't know why. I've questioned this before if the people who create the titles even know what they're putting on. They just go, oh, Revelations. Three other movies have Revelations, so let's do that.
But then there's what is it? Because this isn't like Revelations was the book of Revelations from the Bible, and that was all about the Armageddon and shit, and this is not anything like that. So I would imagine that, like it's not the end of the world. Maybe it is the end of the world according to those people. Maybe they thought, him fucking with the universe was going to make the end of the world happen.
I don't know. We'd have to look up the actual definition for Revelations. So
Yeah.
just sometimes the titles just don't match. The subtitles do not match what the film
Nope.
appears to be. So,
Nope.
but
But I think the fourth title should have been called Chaos. Butterfly Effect 4 Chaos.
it's too short.
Revelations is not much longer.
It's long. At least it
It's one
fills a
word.
little bit. It's like Children of the Corn Genesis. It's too short. Genesis. That's all it is. I didn't even
Butterfly
like the
Effect.
Children of the Corn Runaway. I thought it was a lame title. Runaway. That's lame. It's a
Also,
song.
don't like movies where they call it part three and then add the subtitle, you know? Because you don't really call it Friday the 13th. Well, it should
No,
be
they
Friday.
do. After part 4, they have the numbers.
Yeah, they still have the numbers. So it's part five, uh, part four, part five.
They have
Well,
numbers all the way up until when New Line took over.
yeah. Then it was Jason, and not Friday
Yeah,
the
Jason
13th.
X. So yeah, or Jason Goes to Hell or something like that. So all right, should we wrap this up now
We're
that we're
wrapping
not
up,
really?
but letting everybody know we are done with this for the season. So this
Yeah,
is the last episode of the season. We will be back. I don't know when. I have no idea. Like, can't
I guess
say
whenever
a
one of
date.
us thinks of a good franchise that we can look at that could maybe go into something else, kind of like what we've been doing. I thought that was kind of fun. How it kind of how we kind of kept keeping it going with one or two things from the previous series. A
Yeah,
director, a writer, a producer, actor, something like that.
yeah. we'll
So if
see.
we could think of something like that, then yeah.
But some of them we didn't even know. Like we didn't really even when you thought of the butterfly effect, you weren't thinking. You were kind of thinking Final Destination, I think, at that time, because you knew Eric Bress and all of them or whatever. So maybe, but there's other connections too and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I forgot that. So when part two came up for Final Destination, it's like, oh shit, those are the guys who made Butterfly Effect. We should do that next.
yep, exactly. Well, thank you so much, and everybody, thank you guys for listening or watching. And check us out. I think we'll probably be back in either October or November, is when we'll be back. Probably closer to like Halloween or something. So
We'll
maybe we'll
see.
do some Halloween stuff, we'll see. Can't do all 12 or 13 or whatever Halloween movies. I'm not going through all that shit. It's too much.
No, there's some series that just have too much unless we just limit it to,
Like a couple episode or a couple segments, like
yeah.
whatever. Or we do movies where we just don't go into all the franchise and just do like one episode or whatever, where it's just a one-off, you know. Either or, we'll see. We've been doing the franchises, which is fun. All right, well, everybody, come check us out soon, and we'll be back. See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah, this would be a great outtake Okay, there we go. Oh God. Come on. Seriously? We were doing so well. Fuck. What the fuck?